The Walt Disney World Resort in Florida has an extensive public transportation network to move large crowds around the 39 square mile property. The complex consists of 4 theme parks, 20 Disney-owned resort hotels, 16 third-party owned resort hotels, 2 water parks, 2 miniature golf courses, 4 Disney-owned golf courses, 2 third-party owned golf courses, 1 shopping and entertainment complex, and a sports complex. Additionally, Lynx, Orlando's bus operator, has 10 bus routes that run through Disney World, including one that runs to Orlando International Airport. Please keep your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Please stand clear of the doors. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride as we explore Disney World's public transit. Before we begin, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more transit-related content. Also consider checking out my vlog about what it's like taking the Lynx Bus to Disney World. It should appear as a card on the top right corner and will also be linked in the description below. Also consider subscribing to my Patreon. I'll put a link to that in the description below as well. Before we begin looking at the transit system, we need to get an overview of the geography of Disney World. We'll start in the north with the oldest part of the complex, the Magic Kingdom and its resort area. The Magic Kingdom is the flagship attraction of the complex and is the East Coast's version of Disneyland Park in California. The Magic Kingdom's resort area consists of the Contemporary Resort, the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, the Polynesian Village Resort, the Wilderness Lodge, and the Fort Wilderness Resort. Additionally, there are 2 third-party owned resorts in the area, Shades of Green and Four Seasons Orlando. 3 of the Disney-owned golf courses sit adjacent to Shades of Green, the Oak, Magnolia, and Palm courses. There is also a third-party owned golf course next to the Four Seasons Resort. The last thing in the Magic Kingdom area is the Transportation and Ticket Center, TTC, which contains the parking lot for the Magic Kingdom and acts as a major station on the transport network. The next area we'll look at is the Epcot and Hollywood Studios area, home to the second and third parks to open, respectively. Disney-owned resorts in this area are the Yacht and Beach Club resorts, the Boardwalk Inn, the Riviera Resort, and the Caribbean Beach Resort. Third-party owned resorts in this area are the Waldorf Astoria Orlando, Signia by Hilton Orlando, Wyndham Grand Orlando Resort Bonnet Creek, JW Marriott Orlando Bonnet Creek, and the Swan, Dolphin, and Swan Reserve resorts. The Fantasia Gardens miniature golf course and the third-party owned golf course are also located in this area. The third area is the Disney Springs area. The anchor point of this area is the Disney Springs Shopping and Entertainment District. Disney-owned resorts in this area are the Old Key West Resort, the Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, and the Port Orleans Riverside and French Quarter resorts. This is where the bulk of the third-party owned resorts are located, including Hilton Orlando Buena Vista Palace, Wyndham Garden Lake Buena Vista, Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista, Holiday Inn Orlando, Renaissance Orlando Resort, Doubletree Suites by Hilton Orlando, and Drury Plaza Hotel Orlando. The Disney-owned Lake Buena Vista Golf Course is also in this area. The last thing of note in this area is the Typhoon Lagoon Water Park. The Wide World of Sports area contains the ESPN Wide World of Sports, a massive sports complex, as well as the Disney-owned Art of Animation and Pop Century resorts. The last and newest area is the Animal Kingdom area, home to the Animal Kingdom theme park, as well as the Animal Kingdom Lodge, Coronado Springs Resort, and the 3 All-Star Sports, Music, and Movies resorts. The Blizzard Beach Water Park and Winter Summerland Miniature Golf Course are also located in this area. The first area of public transportation we'll look at is the service operated by Lynx, Orlando's bus operator. Lynx's operation in Disney World are centered at Disney Springs, and particularly their Disney Springs Transfer Center. There are 2 bus route types operated in Disney World. There are standard routes, which operate every 30 minutes or better, and select routes, which operate 1 or 2 trips per day in each direction. The first of the standard routes is the 56 West US 192/Magic Kingdom. This route runs from Disney University to the TTC and from there runs south to Kissimmee Station, where transfers are available to several Lynx routes as well as Sunrail and Amtrak trains. The next route is the 300 Disney Express. This route runs from Disney University to the TTC, then to Disney Springs Transfer Center, before running nonstop up I-4 to Lynx Central Station in downtown Orlando, where transfers to many Lynx routes as well as Sunrail trains are available. Next is the 307 Disney Circulator. This route runs in a loop starting at the Disney Springs Transfer Center, and then stops at the Epcot Cast area before running to the third-party hotels to the south of Epcot and Hollywood Studios. The 311 Disney/Orlando International Airport/Destination Parkway Express starts at the Disney Springs Transfer Center, then runs to Orlando International Airport via the Destination Parkway Superstop and Sand Lake Road Station on Sunrail. Last is the 350 Destination Parkway / SeaWorld / Disney Express. This route starts at the Disney Springs Transfer Center before running to the Disney Springs area resorts. After that, it runs to Lynx Central Station via the Destination Parkway Superstop. The select routes 301, 302, and 303 run to Pine Hills from the Disney Springs Transfer Center via different routes, while the 303 also runs to Disney University via multiple resorts and the TTC. The 304 runs from downtown Orlando to the Caribe Royale Resort via the Disney Springs Transfer Center. Lastly, the 306 operates to Poinciana from the Disney Springs Transfer Center. The 5 select routes all leave the Disney Springs Transfer Center at the same time, allowing for transfers to be made between the routes. Lynx's standard single-ride fare is $2, with a 50% discount for certain groups. The fare includes one free transfer within 90 minutes. We'll now turn to Disney Transport, which runs the majority of services within Disney World. All Disney Transport services operate free of charge, regardless of whether you are staying at a Disney resort or not. The Disney World Monorail system has 6 stations across 3 lines and 14.7 miles of track. Its yearly ridership is roughly 50 million, which makes it the 3rd busiest monorail system in the world. Ridership is the total number of trips made on a system in a given time period, counting each time the same person uses the system separately. The Express line runs in a counterclockwise loop around Bay Lake, serving the Magic Kingdom and the TTC only. The Resort line runs clockwise around Bay Lake, serving the Magic Kingdom, TTC, and the Contemporary, Polynesian Village, and Grand Floridian resorts. The Epcot line operates as a shuttle between the TTC and Epcot. The system uses 12 Bombardier Mark VI monorails, entering service in 1989 and being refurbished between 2019 and 2022. The monorails are identified using colors instead of numbers. The colors are as follows: blue, black, coral, gold, green, lime, orange, peach, red, silver, teal, and yellow. There are additionally monorails pink and purple, but these are involved in a fatal crash in 2009 and damaged beyond repair. The salvageable sections of these 2 trains were partially rebuilt into monorails peach and teal. The system uses automatic train operation at GOA2, where a pilot sits in the cab of the monorail, but the trains drive themselves. In this case, using controls mounted to each platform to dispatch the trains and control the doors. GOA is short for Grades of Automation, which measures how much automation is used on a given rail system. GOA 0 is no automation. GOA 1 has computerized train protection systems. GOA 2 has the train drive itself, by the driver operating the doors and driving in an emergency. GOA 3 sees a train captain operating the doors from within the passenger compartment with the train driving itself. And GOA 4 is full automation with no staff members needed aboard the train. The maintenance facility, or monorail shop, is located to the north of the Magic Kingdom and is accessed by a spur track off the Magic Kingdom Loop. The shop is located on the 2nd floor of the building. We'll get to what's on the lower floor later. It has space for 10 of the 12 monorail trains inside. Next up is ferries. There are 3 distinct ferry systems at Disney World. The first serves the Magic Kingdom and its resort area with 5 routes. The first route runs between the Magic Kingdom and the TTC using a fleet of 3 ferry boats, 2 in the Magic Kingdom class, Richard F. Irvine and Admiral Joe Fowler, and 1 in the Kingdom Queen class, General Joe Potter. These boats have the highest capacity of any of the ferry boats on property by a large margin, being able to accommodate up to 600 passengers at a time. The other 4 routes are operated by motor launches and motor cruisers. The 6 motor launches are a fleet of very small boats named Adventurer, Explorer, Mariner, Navigator, Seafarer, and Voyager. These are supplemented by the larger motor cruisers named Bon Voyage, Castaways, Mermaid 1, and Trade Winds. The 4 routes served by these boats are identified by colored flags. The gold flag route operates from the Magic Kingdom to the Polynesian Village and Grand Floridian resorts. The green flag route operates from the Magic Kingdom to the Fort Wilderness Resort. The red flag route operates from the Magic Kingdom to the Wilderness Lodge. Lastly, the blue flag route connects the Contemporary and Fort Wilderness Resorts and the Wilderness Lodge. All 4 classes of boat are stored and maintained at a facility adjacent to the monorail shop. The next ferry system is the Sassagoula River Cruise, serving Disney Springs and its resorts. It operates with a fleet of 15 small boats named Azalea Bloom, Bayou Princess, Blossom Queen, Buena Vista Queen, Crescent City Queen, Delta Lady, Florida Queen, Jazz Lady, Jazz Queen, Louisiana Lady, Magnolia Blossom, Memphis Miss, Saratoga Queen, Sassagoula Sunset, and Southern Breeze. The 4 routes on this system are also identified using colored flags. The green flag route runs from Disney Springs to the Old Key West Resort. The blue flag route runs from Disney Springs to the Saratoga Springs Resort and the Treehouse Villas. The yellow flag route runs from Disney Springs to Port Orleans Riverside via Port Orleans French Quarter, while the purple flag route runs from Disney Springs to Port Orleans French Quarter only. The boats are maintained in a facility located to the north of Saratoga Springs. The last ferry system is the Friendship Boats, operating between Epcot's International Gateway and Hollywood Studios via the Boardwalk Inn, the Yacht and Beach Club resorts, and the Swan and Dolphin resorts. They operate using a fleet of 8 Friendship-class boats named Friendship 1 through Friendship 8. The maintenance and storage facility is located on the east side of Epcot. The next mode of transportation is the most complex one, at least at Disney World, and that is the bus system. Broadly speaking, the buses at Disney World operate using a hub-and-spoke model, with the theme parks and Disney Springs operating as the hubs and the resorts operating as the spokes. There is a bus service from each resort to each theme park except where Monorail, Friendship Boat, or Skyliner service is available. Additionally, there are inter-park buses which once again only operate where Monorail, Friendship Boat, or Skyliner service is not available. Typhoon Lagoon is served but only by a bus from Disney Springs, requiring a transfer there. Blizzard Beach is served by buses from Animal Kingdom, Coronado Springs, and the All-Stars resorts. There are no buses running from the parks to Disney Springs, and no bus is operating to the ESPN Wide World of Sports. There is not a public transport link to this location. Each of the theme parks and Disney Springs have large bus stations to support the many bus routes that run to them, while resorts and water parks have smaller bus stops. In addition to the resort-to-park and park-to-park service, Disney Transport operates internal bus services at larger resorts. At the Fort Wilderness Resort, 3 routes, yellow, orange, and purple, provide transportation through the resort's large area, with each route stopping at different campsite locations. Caribbean Beach has an internal bus loop running clockwise through the resort. Theme Park and Disney Springs buses also run this clockwise loop, starting at Martinique and ending at Aruba. At Port Orleans Riverside, theme park buses run clockwise, starting at West Depot and ending at South Depot, the main part of the resort. Disney Springs buses first stop at Port Orleans French Quarter. Theme park buses are separate for the 2 resorts, before stopping at South Depot at Riverside, then running clockwise before stopping at French Quarter again. At Saratoga Springs, theme park buses run clockwise, beginning at the grandstand and ending at the Springs. Disney Springs buses also run clockwise, but Congress Park comes last, and the Springs comes first. Saratoga Springs also has an internal shuttle running between the Springs and the 2 stops at the Treehouse Villas. At the Old Key West Resort, theme park buses run counterclockwise, starting at Peninsula Road and ending at Hospitality House. Disney Springs buses also run counterclockwise, but stop at Hospitality House first instead of last. At Coronado Springs, theme park buses run clockwise, starting at Casitas and ending at El Centro/Gran Destino Tower. Disney Springs buses run clockwise, but start at El Centro/Gran Destino Tower and end at Cabanas. The Blizzard Beach buses stop at El Centro/Gran Destino Tower only. The last resort with internal service is Animal Kingdom Lodge. Theme park buses serve Kidani Village, then Jambo House, while Disney Springs buses serve Jambo House, then Kidani Village. One last thing to note is that the Grand Floridian and Polynesian Village resorts share buses between them. There is also an extensive cast member-only bus system, but that is outside the scope of this video. Disney Transport has 420 buses, primarily of the Gillig low-floor 40-foot model, 398 buses, or 94.76% of the fleet, numbered 4956 to 4983, 4985 to 4999, 5010 to 5069, 5071 to 5145, and 5158 to 5379. You could say Disney likes their Gilligs a little bit too much. They also maintain a fleet of 6 New Flyer Excelsior XT60 60-foot articulated buses, numbered 5146 to 5151, 10 Novabus LFS 40-foot buses, numbered 5000 to 5009, and 6 Novabus LFS 60-foot articulated buses, numbered 5152 to 5157. The bus system has 2 bus depots, one at the Magic Kingdom Car Care Center and one to the north of Animal Kingdom. There are additionally 2 layup yards, one at Epcot and one at the TTC. The Disney Skyliner is a gondola lift, a form of cable-hauled transit where small cabins are attached to a single cable which pulls them along the route. The particular model used by the Skyline is the D-Line by Doppelmayr Cable Car. This system allows the cabins to detach from the cable at stations, allowing them to move slower to facilitate loading and unloading. This also allows cabins to be pulled aside and stopped to allow for wheelchairs and mobility devices to be loaded. There are 3 routes, all emanating from a central hub at the Caribbean Beach Resort's south end. The first route operates to Epcot via the Riviera Resort, utilizing 2 turning stations along the route. A turning station is a facility where cabins can navigate a turn, as they cannot do this while attached to the normal cable. These 2 sharp turns are in place to avoid showing guests as much of the backstage areas of Epcot as possible. The second route runs to the Pop Century and Art Animation resorts, which share a station located between the 2 resorts. The last route runs to Hollywood Studios. The cabins are the Omega 4 model built by a subsidiary of Doppelmayr. There are 300 of them in total, and each cabin can hold 10 people. When lightning is nearby or there are high winds, the system closes for safety reasons and buses are dispatched to fill in on those routes. The system is newer than the places it serves, with the exception of the Riviera Resort having opened in 2019. The last mode of transit operated by Disney Transport are the parking lot trams. Because the parking lots at the 4 theme parks are so large, a testament to our messed up dependence on cars, transportation is required to get people from their cars to the theme parks themselves. While I think the trams themselves are very cool, I think their reason for existing is very stupid. The TTC and Epcot each have 2 routes, Villains and Heroes, and Sea and Space respectively, while Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios each have 1. The tractors used to haul these road trains are based on aircraft tugs and were built in the mid-2010s. The maintenance facility is located to the west of Animal Kingdom, while the trams are typically stored on the tram path. We'll next discuss intra-park transportation options available at 3 of the 4 theme parks. Magic Kingdom has the Walt Disney World Railroad, which is a 3-foot narrow-gauge heritage railroad. The 1.5-mile line encircles the park, with trains running clockwise, stopping at Main Street USA, Frontierland, and Fantasyland. The railroad uses a fleet of 4 historic steam locomotives, which burn recycled cooking oil from the restaurants around the property. All locomotives were built by Baldwin Locomotive Works. The locomotives are as follows. Number 1, Walter E. Disney, a 460 10-wheeler which hauls the 100 series red coaches, was built in May 1925 and entered service at Disney World on October 1st, 1971. Number 2, Lilybell, a 260 Mogul, which hauls the 200 series green passenger coaches, was built in September 1928 and entered service at Disney World on October 1st, 1971. Number 3, Roger E. Broggie, was a 460 10-wheeler, which hauls the 300 series yellow passenger coaches, was built in May 1925 and entered service at Disney World on October 1st, 1971. And number 4, Roy O. Disney, a 440 American, which hauls the 400 series blue passenger coaches and was built in February 1916 and entered service on December 1st, 1971. The locomotives were overhauled between 1997 and 2003 at the Tweetsea Railroad in North Carolina, and again from 2010 at the Strasburg Railroad. The yard is located on the lower level of the aforementioned monorail shop and houses and maintains all 4 trains. It is accessed via a spur branching off from just north of Fantasyland. The railroad uses an automatic block system with automatic train control supplementing the manual operation of the trains, making this one of the few steam-hauled railroads that uses GOA-1. At Animal Kingdom, the Wildlife Express train provides the only way for guests to get between the main part of the park and Rafiki's Planet Watch. The railroad is also a 3-foot narrow-gauge line that is 1.2 miles long. The railroad has 3 diesel locomotives that were built to look like 242 steam locomotives, specifically the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railways Class 5 and Class 6. They were all built in 1997 by Severn Lamb and began operation in the next year. They are numbered as follows: 00174, 02594 R. Baba Hapur, and 04982. There are 2 sets of passenger cars that the locomotives pull. The locomotives and cars were designed to look like they are old and well used, when in reality they were custom built for the park's opening. The maintenance facility is located off a short spur. At Epcot, the Friendship boats provide transportation across the World Showcase Lagoon. The last public transit operator is Mears Connect, which provides luxury transportation to Disney World's resorts from the Orlando International Airport. One-way pricing starts at $16 for adults. Mears also provides bus service from the Swan and Dolphin resorts to the theme parks, while the Shade of Green resort operates their own bus service for the same purpose. Finally, while not public transportation as it is rideshare, it is worth mentioning the minivan service operated by Disney Transport and coordinated by Lyft, which provides door-to-door transportation around the property, and is the only public transport-ish way to get to the ESPN Wide World of Sports. Disney World's expansive transit system is one of the most comprehensive in the country and can be challenging to understand when you first begin looking at it. Hopefully, this video has allowed you to understand the system a little bit better. If you want a closer look at the transit diagram used in this video, I'll put a link to it in the description below. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks so much for watching, and please consider liking and subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and as I say at Disney World, have a magical day.